Well, hello and welcome to a well system for ongoing maintenance, or AWSOM. The following screens outline the basic requirements for a mobile phone application or app, which can be used to monitor and control, to some extent, the AWSOM hand-pumped water wells. The screens at this stage are for discussion purposes only. After discussions with users, hardware and software designers, and the web development team, these screens will be updated and reissued. All comments will be gratefully received, and many thanks to all concerned. It is envisaged that the AWSOM app will be available with an icon on your mobile screen. Just click on the icon and you'll be taken to the first screen. Okay, the first screen will either be a logon screen to record who's doing what, or the all-well summary chart. Here you can see the bar of, in this case, there's 6 wells that are doing well and 2 wells red that are possibly needing attention. So clicking on the summary chart, you get through to this, which is the well name and location and more details of each of the wells. This is a scrollable screen, and you can see the 2 red wells. And if you click in there, we can go into further detail of possibly why things are going wrong. So after clicking on the well of interest, we're taken through to this chart, which is the number of activity liters, the amount of activity around that well for each particular day of the last couple of weeks. This is best shown once the well has been calibrated, because this histogram will show the amount of water used per day. It is also where the comments can be entered, explaining why this particular well is showing this particular chart all over the place. It's probably why it's been red. And the reason is well under test. So a tick in that little box will make it plain for all to see. Right, the aim in this one is to scroll down. This is more detail of the same well. So rather than clicking anywhere, you scroll down and you will see the battery voltage, it's nickel metal hydride battery voltage. And the trend is downwards. So the well cannot continue in this activity. Something will go wrong. So we need to know why. But once again, the comment well under test still applies. Scrolling down, we will get onto the temperatures. So after seeing the battery voltage, we scroll down and we come into the internal temperature of the unit. So if it goes anything above 50 degrees centigrade for a particular period of time, then there should be issues. Maybe it's going to break, the unit itself is going to break, not the well. And therefore, it might not be appropriate to put an AWSOM unit out on the spout of that particular well. Yeah. Right, scrolling further down on the same screen, on the particular well, we can see all the details, all the data. There's nothing hidden here. Everything is available in its raw format. This is just to show that there's no surprises. All the information is here. But I can't really see many people looking at that in detail. Maybe the well manager will need to do it and understand what's happening, and maybe some of the technical team it will be interesting. But so it could be under a login. But anyway, not to hide anything. Scroll down, you'll get this detail. Right, scrolling down further, we get to the calibration stage. Here, I think this has got to be the well manager. So this should be in by a login only, where we put from local knowledge the amount of men, women, and children roughly who will be using that well, and the time that they take to fill a 20-litre bucket. Typically, it doesn't really matter if this is too accurate or not. It's just a comparison we need, but it will be nice to have it filled in. Otherwise, it will use the defaults. to get this gives us the calibration factor for the pump count. Right, scrolling down still further, we come back to the screen with all the wells in, where we can just do the same thing again. We can just click on another well and look at the bar histogram and the voltages and the temperatures and all the data of any particular well in that list. This screen itself is scrollable, so you can see further wells further down the list. But clicking on a well will take you to that particular well. Now, if we look at the top of the screen here, we'll see in the top left-hand corner a kind of black horizontal bars. If you click on there, we will come to a menu system. Right, now we come on to the menu. Item 1 is home, going back to the summary chart at the beginning. Item 2 is the permissions, so who can see what on this chart, who can add wells and who can take them away and say things, and who can install them. Item 4, the SIM accounts. Obviously, we need to make sure all the SIM accounts have got credit on them, otherwise the wells will stop working. We need AI recommendations. So the aim was 2 years ago, we had a machine intelligence, a machine learning process, which the data from the wells was taken in on board, and we could start to predict the patterns of the wells when they were about to break. Obviously, we hadn't got very much data 2 years ago. We have some more data now, and we can think of more ways of getting it. Whereas before, more than 2 years ago, it was very difficult to do. Now this is easily achieved in one of the plethora of AI-driven bots around. Help. I think it's important to have help. We'll go into that in a minute. More detail in there. And finally, we need to log out, however the apps normally log out. Yeah. Okay, now we come on to the help screens. I think there should be 4 main help screens. Conceptual help. The helicopter view. What are we trying to do? We are trying to provide maintenance to the wells that need it, be proactive maintenance rather than ambulance type of maintenance. Procedural help is what do they have to do next? Once they've added a well, what do? They have to calibrate it. Then what do? They have to do this, and they have to do that. 3, analytical help. When they get certain patterns, they can indicate certain features of the well. The well could be drying up, or it could be a rainy season, whatever it is. The analytical help gives typical patterns of the bar charts, which could be available. A technical help is really for interest only, but it gives a top level view of how this system works and who to contact if things go wrong, both in Guernsey and in the UK, as well as Tanzania, of course. That's it. Okay, thanks all. Thanks for watching. This a well system for ongoing maintenance, or AWSOM system, requirement for a mobile app. The screens outline the basic requirements for a mobile phone application app, which can be used to monitor and can help control and maintain the AWSOM hand-pumped water wells. The screens are for discussion purposes only, and as we said, all input will be really, really welcomed. After discussion with the users, hardware and software design teams, and the web development teams, the screens will be updated and reissued. Many thanks to all concerned. Any problems, please give us a call or an email. Thank you very much for watching.